Welcome back to my channel. I have a bunch of new drugstore makeup over here that we need to test, so let's jump right into it. Some of these are pretty brand new releases, but most of them have been on the market for maybe a couple of months to 6 months. I'm just getting around to some of these right now. First off, I'm going to start off with the viral product. This is the Milani Conceal and Perfect Blur Out Smoothing Primer. Now, I've seen so many people talk about this. This went crazy over on TikTok, and it's supposed to be very much like a dupe for the Huda Beauty, I guess, the glowish primer that she had, which is no longer available. But I'm actually like in love with the color and the texture. It's almost like a whipped balmy texture. I'm actually going to start from the center of my face. It actually feels quite hydrating. The consistency of this actually reminds me of the like melting balms to melt out your makeup. That's what it actually feels like, but it goes on super smooth onto the skin. I'm actually really liking how this is covering it up, and it's also just perfecting pretty much all of the pore and the texture. Like this area is like so much more smoother all of a sudden. Also, it does come with a handy dandy spatula if you just want to pick up the product, and it has like a nice little component to put it back in. The foundation that I most recently want to talk about are these Maybelline Superstay 30-hour Lumi-Matte foundations. I've picked this up in two shades here, 250 and 332. It's very aesthetically pleasing to the eye. I really do like the packaging of this product. It is in a glass bottle. I love the lilac cap. It feels really fresh and airy. You do get like the 1 fluid ounce. And I've also seen really good reviews based on the consistency and the formula and how this wears and applies on the skin. But I was really disappointed in like the lack of shades. It's pretty much abysmal. The Maybelline Fit Me line has so many shades, and for them to only come out with like I think like 24 or 25 shades, that to me is a joke, to be honest with you, and especially in this day and age. I've seen shades such as 228 be available in like East Asia, but it's not available here in the North American market, and I find that 228 probably has a little bit more of a yellow olive undertone. Speaking of olive undertones, the only shade that I found in the North American market is 332, which has a warm olive undertone. So I had to pair it with 250. I wasn't really sure because I ordered it online. And although I don't see much of a shade range difference between the two, I do feel 250 is going to be a little bit like lighter on me, whereas the 332 is going to be a little bit like darker on me. So this is the shade 250. 250 is way too light. 332 definitely has that nice golden olive undertone, and I think that this is going to be a better match for me in the summer months, but I still would have liked something in between the two. And since I'm testing out just the formula of these products today, I'm going to have to mix these two to get like my proper shade. I'm using my BK Beauty 109 brush. I'm going to do one side of the face only so you guys can see the coverage. So this was one pump of each, and what I can say is that the product is very beautiful. I can tell that this is giving me more of a satin finish. To me, the translation of Lumi-Matte is satin, okay? I do see a little bit of that sheen coming through. It's going to leave a nice, soft, like almost skin-like appearance. I would say that this is more of a medium coverage, and it's super lightweight. It actually glides on like water, so I'm very happy with the application of it and the way this feels and looks on the skin. I can see what the hype is all about. I just wish that they had a better shade range where I didn't have to mix two shades. So CoverGirl also came up with these Trublend Skin Enhancer Sculpting or Contour Bombs. This also has overtaken TikTok. I think I'm doing all viral products today. So I got it in the shade Sculpted, which is a little bit more of a contour shade rather than like a bronzing shade, because I do like some of these contour shades more. To blend this out, I'm going to be using my BK Beauty 113 brush. I think the shade is okay for me. I could have probably gone for something a little bit more deeper. This definitely is more of a contour shade because it has that ash tone underneath. Also, this isn't really depositing much pigment, so this is a very soft, almost like a no makeup application. I will say that this is nice for like a no makeup situation and something very easy because this just really blends out so easily. I personally prefer the Sephora contour sticks to these ones because they are a little bit more opaque, and they also blend out very beautifully and buttery, but this isn't bad. I don't know how I feel about it yet, so maybe I need to use it a little bit more. Now, along with the contour sticks, they also came out with the blush bombs. These are pretty much the same formulation. I have the shade Sweet Violet. This is more of a purple shade, and I love these types of purple tones on me. It has a little bit of pink, a little bit of purple. What I like to do is with these cream blushes, because I don't like a very heavy blush application, I like to saturate my blush brush with the cream, and then I like to go in and pop it in. And that just gives me more of an even application. It also helps me to control the product. I do like this shade a lot. This makes my face look a lot brighter and youthful. I'm actually gonna go in directly on this side and see how this applies directly. No, I much prefer it taking it from the back of my hand and then going in. Just gives me a lot more control. This way it also avoids lifting any of that foundation underneath, just tapping this in this way, and just gives a more of a diffused, softer look. And then of course, let me just see if these are buildable, which I think they would be. I think I like this formula in blush form rather than in contour stick form, because I like the contours to be a little bit more opaque, but the blushes on me to be a little bit more light and soft. And I really hope I'm making sense while I say this, because I can't multitask while doing makeup. I don't have any new concealer or powder for you, so now let's move on to the eyes, beginning with brows. I don't really do brows much here on camera. I really just only use 1 or 2 products, which have been my go-to staple for years and years and years. I haven't changed it at all. But when this came out and it was all over my feed, I thought that, you know, why not give it a go, and maybe I might like it. This is the Maybelline Superfluff Brow Mousse, and I have it in the shade Soft Brown. Although my brows are pretty dark, I do like a softer brow application because I don't want the brows to be so heavy. I have no brow product on, and this is really like my problematic brow. And let's just see how it goes. Is it doing anything? Oh, it's actually lightened my brow. I feel like I could have gone with a darker shade. Oh. Full disclosure, I am not an expert in doing brows. I can tell that this is doing a good job in lifting the brow. The only problem that I'm having with this type of applicator though is, although it's tiny, it's narrower at the tip, but broader at the base. And I wish that it was just narrow all the way through, so that way you can really get into these finer tail end of the brow. At least for me, I have very fine, sparse brows. They're not really like full and thick. I don't know how I feel about this in comparison to my OG e.l.f. Instant Brow Pencil, because this is what I use every single day. e.l.f. also has a matching brow gel just like this. So this is the one from e.l.f. and you can tell that the spoolie is so much more thinner. So it's actually easier to get into the tail end and really be precise with this. The other thing is that the Maybelline Mousse will pick up more product just because of the way the wand is designed as opposed to the e.l.f. Wow Brow. So with this one, you have to kind of clean it before you can go in. Whereas with the e.l.f. Wow Brow, you can just basically take it out of the tube and go along with your application, and it's just perfect. So you're not wasting really any product. It's probably the most amount of time that I've spent on this channel discussing brows. Let's move on to the eyes. Now this next product is also from CoverGirl. It is from their Clean line. I do have a lot of CoverGirl products in this video. It's not sponsored by CoverGirl whatsoever. I wish it was. These are the CoverGirl Clean Eye Color. These are cream eyeshadow sticks. I've got 3 shades here. This is Bronze Glow. The middle one is a French Violet, and then the very top one is Sky Dust. And these are so buttery and creamy as they went on, and they're not super shiny and super metallic. So if you're looking for something which is subtle, everyday appropriate, or you're not somebody that enjoys chunky glitter, I feel that you're really going to enjoy these types of formulas because they're very subtle. As you can see from far away, they have a little bit of shine when the light hits, but it's nothing too dramatic or too in your face or too bold. I'm just going to apply this as I normally would apply your cream shadows. These kind of remind me of the Laura Mercier eyeshadow, the caviar sticks or whatnot. Kind of give me the same feeling, but I do like how easy this is. And that shade, is wowzers. Wow. Very subtle and just easy to use. This is a great slap on, one and done eyeshadow out the door, especially for very busy people or just people that like minimalistic makeup or don't want to spend that much time on makeup in the morning. Wow, that just glided on really smooth. Just gonna clean up around the eyes just so that we don't have any harsh edges. At this point, you can just throw on some mascara and lip gloss and be out the door. This is amazing. I love this. I just went ahead and finished off my eyes with some eyeliner and mascara. For the eyeliner, I use this NYX one. It's called the NYX Epic Wear Liner Stick in the shade Berry Goth. It's like a nice eggplant purple to go along with the eyeshadow. And I just use the Maybelline Lash Paradise mascara in waterproof. Also, I just want to show you guys that these eyeshadows do not move. They've been on my hand for at least like five minutes now. And that's great news because I do have oily eyelids and I didn't even go in with any primer or anything underneath. So hopefully this actually lasts all day. Now let's talk about lips. I have 3 of the Maybelline lifter lip liners. I have the shades On It, Big Lift, and Fine Line. Now I've used Big Lift and On It before. I just picked up Fine Line because I wanted something a little bit more mauve, but this seems to be a little bit more like raspberry, like a little bit more of a red tint. So this is Fine Line, this is Big Lift, and this is On It. This one has a little bit more of like a brownie red to it. I was actually looking for something similar to a mauvey purple, something like Soar from MAC, if you guys remember. So I really hope that they actually expand the shade range because the formula of these is just amazing. They are buttery smooth as they glide on, but then it just sets and then it just will not move. And I also have these NYX Lip IV gloss, hydrating gloss serums, and they also leave like a tint underneath from what I saw. So I'm just wondering which shade would go today. You know what? Let's try both. I'm gonna go in with On It first. And I just kind of like to blur this out. This is such a good shade for like a medium brown skin tone. And next I'm going to go in with the shade. This is Hydra Honey. Oh yeah. But these things are so glossy. Whew, look at that shine. Oh wow. Oh, they smell like a bakery. They smell like cinnamon. You know, I didn't think I would like these as much as I do because these went viral on TikTok as well. And I get the hype. I don't know if part of it is the scent because I love the scent of like this warm bakery. It's giving off that nice warm cinnamon roll, like center of the roll. It's making me want cinnamon buns, to be honest. But this Hydra Honey paired along with On It is just gorgeous, and that shine is epic. The shade in the bullet is more saturated than what goes on onto your lips, and I kind of like that because sometimes you don't want such a heavy pigmented lip color, especially for an everyday. Love it. I'm gonna wipe this off and go in with the other shade that I got. This shade is Mocha Me Wet, and I don't know which one to pair it with. I'm actually gonna apply this by itself first. Oh, this is a little bit more pigmented. These are also really cooling on the lips. Normally, I would never go for something this deep on a day-to-day basis. This is a little bit more vampy. I do feel that this is more appropriate for the fall season and the winter season, but I do like how muted and cool tone this is. I'm gonna leave it on for like a good 10 minutes and then wipe it off to see if it leaves like a nice rosy mauve kind of tint. This honey shade in the center, kind of just to lighten it. Yeah, I think that did something. Did it? You guys tell me. Now these feel pretty lush and thick on the lips, but not in a bad way. It's not feeling sticky is what I want to say. And it's not clumping my lips together. Like sometimes you get like those lines in between. It's not doing that. But the shine. I mean, I'm all here for the shine. I feel like these ones, they have a lot of deeper shades, which is nice. They also have a lot of rosy shades in the middle. I know that they have a red in this line as well, but I was looking for a red, which is going to be like almost like a blood red, but a little bit more cool tone, a little bit more blue, because I was hoping these are going to be what this was by NYX. I don't know if you remember this one. This is the NYX Extreme Shine Lip Cream, and this is in the shade Absolute Red. This is discontinued. I've kept this for reference, and I really, really love like this shade of red, like this blue red. So I hope that they expand the shade range for the lip IVs. And I would also like to see a little bit more mauves, a little bit more lighter mauves, because I know this is a mauve. And also the same thing when it comes to these lifter liners. I wish that there was more variation of a purpley, cool purple undertones. That would be wonderful for us olive toned girls. With that being said, I'm going to wipe this off and see if it's left a stain. Oh yeah, it definitely has. So yeah, it's actually left like a really nice natural looking lip stain. I actually wanted to pick up another CoverGirl lip product, but it's not out yet here in Canada at least. And that is the CoverGirl Yummy Blur Lipstick. Those look so good. All right, so the final product that we're gonna talk about here, which I actually forgot to do earlier on, is the highlight. This is the L'Oreal Lumi Gloss Highlighter Stick, and I have mine in the shade Glossy Pearl. Nice little champagne. I saw this being promoted everywhere and everybody had high hopes, and it didn't seem like one of those glittery type highlighter. I like the color. It's giving like that nice subtlety, but it's also really, really glossy. So I'm a little scared to apply this because I hopefully it doesn't take off like all of my work underneath. Okay, some subtlety. Okay, I do like the way this is looking and catching the light. It is really glossy. I'm actually going in with a very light tapping motion so as to not disturb any of the products underneath. I actually love products that don't have shimmery particles in it anymore. This is a little bit more on the natural side because it's a cream, more like a balm, so it's actually going to melt right into your skin. The only problem with these types of products is the fact that it can actually lift and separate makeup from underneath, but it does not seem to be doing that. What about this side? Nope, it hasn't lifted my blush this side either, and I really like the subtlety that it's giving me. It's actually just become one with my skin, and yeah, like this is great. It actually has a little bit of a dry down. It's not fully like a dry down, but it does have a little bit of that dry down, so hair is not going to come in and like stick to it. I must say I was a little bit more skeptical about this product, but I actually really like this. Okay guys, so we're in natural daylight. This is what the skin is looking like. I'm not really going to give you guys much commentary on what I feel. I actually think it looks great, but you guys let me know how it's looking on the camera in natural daylight. The shade match is looking really good, provided that I mix those two shades together. I really like how the highlighter is catching the light and just giving my skin a nice healthy glow without being too overpowering or too shimmery. Overall, the makeup is not competing. It just looks really nice and natural. But with that being said, this is it. I hope you like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in the next one.